What if you were the last person on Earth? In a world that was covered in nuclear radiation, poisoning, there were bodies left and right. You're alone. You spend years alone. You spend years farming the land, keeping yourself safe, doing what needs to be done in order to be the last person on the world. Well, what if one day a smoke starts rising up in the forest, and it gets closer, and it gets closer, and closer. And suddenly, you may not be as safe as you once were. Well, that is what Anna Burden goes through in Z for Zachariah. She is a 16-year-old girl, as most young adult protagonists are, and she lives in Burden Valley, and it's named after her because her family used to live there, though she has lived for years thinking that she is the last person on the world. That the story takes place during the Cold War. It doesn't ever get any clearer than that, almost like the Cold War just happened one day and the world is gone. And that was one thing I didn't really like about the book, because they never really gave you a clear answer as to where exactly we were and what time it was, but you could tell it was old-fashioned. But the person that gets to meet her, or let's just say the smoke, is named John Loomis. And he's usually referred to as Mr. Loomis, and he's a scientist who helped create a safe suit that would keep the radiation and all of this stuff that's been from the Cold War out. But the said suit cost more than just a few lives. Mr. Loomis is not the greatest man that we think he is. But upon finding Anna's home, he forgets to check the radiation levels of one place. And this time, there are more than one life at stake. Mr. Loomis is a very interesting character. I never quite know how I feel about him. When you first see him, you know something's off. I'm not really going to tell you guys anymore because of spoilers. Anna Burden was a well-rounded character. She at some times was a little stereotypical, but as the novel went on, I found her doing things that I wouldn't expect someone to do during a apocalypse. When you think you're the last person on the world, you're not spending your time at church or spending your time checking off the calendar, but it was like being the last person on the world had not affected her morals, it just made her stronger. I think overall I will give this book a 67% out of 100. I think it was a fun read. I think the author could have done better, and if you want to read it, you can. I would say read some other books before it, but I don't think it hurt me to finish this one. And there's a movie coming out, although it's nothing like a book.